All right, so we're going to do our alternatives here for operating systems. So I think we'll start with Android, and then we'll go up and look at Google Chrome alternatives. So Quint had some specific things to say. So go ahead, Quint.
Okay, so Android is the alternative is not to get rid of Android, but just to use Android without Google services. And one way to do that is you can use MicroG to basically, which is an open source version of Google Play services that has a lot of this stuff. It's basically they reverse engineered Google Play services and added a lot of the APIs back in, as you can see right here. You can use Android without it, just straight up AOSP, but there's not a lot of apps that you get from the Google Play Store rely on Google Play services to function. So as you see here, everything that says full is what has been implemented into MicroG, which it's still in beta.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
MicroG, you can go to the project here and just download the files manually, which I've never actually done that because if you're doing it on Lineage OS, which I recommend, get the Lineage OS from MicroG ROM. This is a ROM that has MicroG pre-installed.
Mm-hmm.
And this
can
is how
you get this? Can you get this on any given phone build, or is that something you need to?
Yes, any Lineage build is supported. If you look here.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
And so better Lineage, though, which I've mentioned in the comments, is my ROM that I'm working on with another person.
Okay.
And it's basically a fork of Lineage OS for MicroG, but I added a lot of privacy-focused apps in there by default. Like, for example, we have the DuckDuckGo browser, we have DavX5, we have the Net Monitor from Copperhead OS, we have QKSMS, we have AdAway, which is an ad blocker. There's a couple other apps in here.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
The only thing that I do not have this is the thing that I've been trying to find an alternative for is Google Camera. I really like Google Camera. I think it's pretty much the best camera app for Android, but it's a Google app.
Well, have you considered Open Camera is what I use because it has tons of
I do have Google Camera in here by default, and it only works on some devices. So I probably will eventually replace this with Open Camera, but the reason I don't like Open Camera is I think the UI is terrible. I think Google Camera nailed the UI and all the features super well.
Okay. Now, there were some issues with vulnerabilities in Google Camera. Are we making sure those are not there?
This is a pretty old version of Google Camera that I don't think has those vulnerabilities. The new versions of Google Camera are garbage. This is Google Camera 5, which is my favorite version.
Okay.
And so we do have Aurora Store, so you can download apps from Google Play. That's something that Lineage OS from MicroG does not have, which it really needs.
And what phones does this work on?
This currently only works on the Google Pixel, but we will, the other guy who I work with this on has OnePlus phones, and he's going to try porting it to that.
Well, if you get me some info, maybe I can try and work on Nexus
I will
5X
port it to
too,
Nexus 5X for you to look at. I'll do that.
Yeah. Probably about January or so is when I'll start doing that.
Yeah, this is basically just what better Lineage is. Basically a Lineage OS out of the box that has everything you need for privacy.
Cool.
And Lineage don't come with a camera app?
Yeah, it does.
It's terrible though.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
And also the one thing that I did do that Lineage really needs to do is they just need to get rid of Audio FX. It's garbage. I took it out, as you can see here, under removed apps.
Yeah, that messed me up when I rebuilt my phone, my one phone on Resurrection OS, and I had just finished. I literally just built it like that week, and it was the week I was working on my last book's audiobook edition, and I had to QA it. So I had like 5 files to QA. So I throw it on the phone. I'm listening to it. I'm like, this sounds like garbage. Do I have to go back and redo all this? No, it was AudioVex.
So I did also remove the calendar app, the built-in camera app. There's actually 2. It's really weird. The AOSP app gets installed if you remove the Lineage camera app. I don't know why. And I did remove
did you use the Open Calendar? I forget what it's called. I think it's called Simple Calendar.
I'm using eTar.
Okay.
I like eTAR better. It's also open source, and I'm
Okay.
using QK SMS instead of the default SMS app,
Okay.
which is also open source.
Okay. Good.
Every app in here is open source except the Google camera.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for what you're trying to do, you're going to want to replace it with something open source. So
Yeah.
you're going to get flack for that if you don't. But yeah, that's pretty cool though. Awesome. Yeah. Probably like January, I can maybe have a look at it. So of course I'm running Lineage without any Google or Micro G or anything because I don't really have a need for any of that. And I run Resurrection OS on my other phone build. What else are you guys running or not running?
My phone's an iPhone, so this.
Okay. Well, we love you anyway, Ben. No, kidding. That's fine. Dan, you have a rotary one, right? You got.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I do have one in the closet. I keep it here just to show the young ones what we used to use.
There's that old scene on Diary of a Wimpy Kid, right? He's like, I don't know how to use this thing.
Well, my stepdad used to work for Michigan Bell, so we had a lot of phone parts still in the family.
Yeah.
So I am actually still using it on my essential phone, which is my daily driver phone. I am using Lineage OS for Micro G just because I want something that works that won't have a risk of breaking.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
And so this is just the test phone where I put all the ROMs on and stuff.
Yeah. And is that one working, or is that one that's the one that's kind of broken?
I didn't end up getting a new one. This is the broken one. The weird thing is the speakers work. Sometimes it's a software problem. Sometimes you'll turn it on and the speakers work. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll turn it on and the speakers won't work. It's weird.
Interesting. Fascinating. All right. The other area in this area is replacement for Google Chrome OS. Switch to Linux. Just go to Linux, guys. Just Linux.
Yeah.
That's it. Linux, of course. There's a varieties. Tails, Cubes. If you want the security and the privacy, Tails, Cubes are some of the better ones. Of course, if you're looking for best pure Chrome OS, Peppermint. Although the guys at Peppermint did tell me, like one guy apparently said, "Hey, Peppermint is like the Linux answer to Chrome OS." But actually, Mark Reeves actually told me, no, it's actually Peppermint predates Chrome OS. So. But Peppermint is actually one of the closer you're going to get, web-based type, a lot of web-based type stuff and things like that. But, switch to Linux. So we're obviously going to say go to Linux. Give me your final thoughts on, actually, let me see if there's anything else here. Any other comments before on Chrome OS or Android alternatives?
I'm with Ben. I've got an iPhone, so not an option for me.
All right.
I got one just like Ben does. I mean, we had to choose the lesser of the evils, and that's what we got.
Yeah, and I'll say if you're not going to run a custom ROM, iPhone is better for privacy. I think if you are going to run a custom ROM, obviously something with Lineage on it would be better. So
yeah, I think them people at Apple would rather have the money than all our data, anyways.
Oh, I mean, they're
going extra deep on the hardware just to get the money.
Yeah.